Observe other people within your organization who can excel and discover how to develop yours.
We are going less
Thirdly,
than 10
set goals and
seconds.
prioritize which soft skills to improve on based on the requirements for a job or advancement in your career. Lastly, seek out resources that can enable you to get better. For example,
You're on air.
Welcome to the news on NT International. I am Vivian Izadifi. Now the headlines.
Play. Read.
JAMB inaugurates 23-member committee to determine admission eligibility of 599 outstanding underage candidates.
Read.
Nigeria launches 8th edition of Essential Medicine List, targeting children for safer and more accessible healthcare.
Read.
Plus, Russian president holds talks with U.S. envoy ahead of deadline to halt offensive on Ukraine.
Coming to you. You're on air.
President Bola Tinubu has directed the expedited rollout of the Free Healthcare Access Initiative for low-income retirees under the Contributory Pension Scheme, CPS, describing it as a critical component of social protection and dignity in retirement.
Play.
He also called for the prompt to inclusive growth and protection for ordinary Nigerians.
Coming to you. You're on air.
Representatives from various ministries have gathered for a crucial interministerial committee meeting to prepare for the pivotal United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP30. With the urgency of climate change action, this meeting is a key step in shaping the nation's framework, conversations on tackling climate change. Shehu Muhammad Dati report.
Play.
The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is an international treaty aimed at addressing climate change and its impacts through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Nigeria's concerns necessitated an interministerial committee meeting to focus on addressing the country's climate change commitments and challenges. In Abuja, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
You're on air.
And to the chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, says over 6,000 immigrants have been evacuated back home by the International Organization for Migration and the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. The NIDCOM bus, who received head of
Coming to you. You're on air.
The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, says it is intensifying strategies around local drug production, health insurance coverage, and domestic financing to sustain the nation's HIV response. This was the highlight of the 7th National Council on AIDS held in Lagos. Joy Kane Abubuya reports.
Play.
For decades, international donors have significantly funded Nigeria's HIV response. Domestic financing and collaborative programming. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
You're on air.
Still talking health, World Health Organization's Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has commended Ghana for its successful implementation of the free primary health care. Speaking at the African Health Sovereignty Summit in Accra, Dr. Tedros cautioned that WHO projections indicate a 40% decline in global health aid this year.
Coming to you. You're on air.
We go to Ghana, where President John Mahama has urged African leaders to impress upon their ministries of finance to treat health as a capital investment, not a consumption expense. He further called for sovereign wealth funds to channel resources into biotechnology, diagnostics, and resilient health infrastructure, while taxing economists to revise national accounts to reflect health as a productivity multiplier. President Mahama made the call during a keynote address at the African Health Sovereignty Summit in Accra.
Play.
In a world fraught with crises from pandemics to climate emergencies and economic disruptions, Africa continues to bear the brunt of a global system that too often sidelines its voice and agency. The situation has been further exacerbated by recent budget cuts by the United States Agency for International Development, which have reduced critical health and development aid to the continent. This move has sparked growing concerns over Africa's continued reliance on external support and the urgent need to assert control over its own health priorities. Delivering the keynote address at the Africa Health Sovereignty Summit in Accra, President John Mahama called for a radical redesign that puts Africa at the center of governance, innovation, and investment.